Alive. Hello. Hello and welcome to our very first fireside chat. You may not be able to tell, but this is the fireside. This is our fire pit, but it's quite warm and we have laptops here, so we are not setting fire to anything right now.
I don't think it did our thumbnail right, but
Oh, we took a
Oh
really good thumbnail, it
no.
seemed like.
we'll add a new
Joining
one.
us is Talik,
Hello.
Charge Positive on everything.
On everything.
Positive with a
Instagram.
Z.
Yeah,
Like
POZ.
Zara. I don't know which camera to look at.
Just
We
look
are
at the middle of
in
them.
the
That's
middle.
why I put sunglasses on.
Look
I'd be like,
in the dim lighting. Oh wait, you got your mic.
yeah.
We're trying this. It's new.
Hopefully, so I'm also live on my Instagram right now. I'm going to rotate the camera here in a minute. So Instagram, welcome to Charge Positive with Mach-E vlog today. We're doing a dual live stream right now. Let me know in the comments if you can hear on my live stream because I only have one mic over there by my phone. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you can hear. And we're live on YouTube for Mach-E vlog
We're YouTube and Mach-E vlog,
and Insta for Charge Positive.
and
Let me check the screen.
this is
Yeah.
a trial run, so we're gonna just have a little bit of fun with this.
A trial run. We're gonna have fun.
Estang14 says, howdy gang.
Hey, Easton.
Hello.
Oh
what-
right. Okay.
Hey, Murchie. I knew
Yay, hi,
you'd
Murchie.
find us.
Did you share it already?
I'm gonna share the link, but we're just gonna chat about some
Okay, they can hear
EV
us.
news, what we've been up to. Introduce Charge Positive for people that
Yeah.
don't know him on our channel. Introduce us on his channel.
Because it's been a busy summer.
It's been a
We've-
busy summer. It doesn't even
wow.
feel like this is real. So bear with us a moment. This is the most laptops we've ever had live right now.
Mine is kind of dead, and we're charging it off of the Blue Eddy battery here.
Yeah.
Woo. And you could charge your phone at the same
And I could charge
time.
my other phone here
Yes.
on the top here.
Wireless charging on top. You guys, you'll have to tell us if the sound is good. Oh,
Phone is
Phone
good.
down.
Phone down.
faster. So we actually had a super awesome meetup today in Carlsbad, California, at the Windmill. Talik was there, even though he drives a Tesla. Everyone's welcome.
I wasn't the only Tesla
He
there.
was not the only Tesla. So we were also hyped up from the experience. So we figured we'd gather together and touch base on all the craziness because the EV world is going crazy. Hey, Tesla Tim! If you
Hey.
haven't seen our Tesla Takeover videos, all three of them, Tesla Tim is in it, and he has an honorary fancy pony
Aw.
now along with Jim Farley. So Tesla Tim obviously has a Tesla, but he's so awesome that he gets a fancy pony too. So thank you for tuning in.
So, and we're going to do a video on this, but I want to sort of start with this because it's like the news for us. Our meeting with Jim Farley earlier this week, and just sort of tell you like a little bit of the story behind it and our thoughts and opinions real quick. Sorry, Talik, he wasn't there, but
would've
he's
been
going to
fun.
hear about this for the first time. But we got word about a week and a half ago that Jim Farley was going to be doing this road trip and that we were invited to come meet him. And we weren't sure of any details. We weren't sure who was invited. It was like, keep it quiet. One, for security reasons. You know, major CEO, you can't just say like, here's where he's driving. Didn't really have many details, but we were super excited. We blocked off 2 days because it was still a little bit up in the air. We didn't really have details of when, where, how. We were told it was in the LA area. And a lot of things are, you know, moving pieces with stuff like that. But then like, the day of even, we saw the email of like, here's what's going on. It might have been the day before. And then it was like, oh my gosh, we knew a lot of the
who's
other
here.
people.
Yeah.
So it was super exciting. And he was doing a road trip, if you don't know, from
Hi,
the
Dylan.
Bay Area down to LA and then over to Vegas. And basically taking his time, doing lots of stops and visits. He's documented it on Twitter and LinkedIn and probably Instagram, I'm guessing. And we were told he wanted to meet with EV owners, not just Ford EV owners, but some Tesla owners as well. And we were scheduled for about 45 minutes. I think we got 38 minutes to chat with him. And we were able to hear a little bit about what Ford is doing in the future with EVs, as well as he wanted to hear about our opinions. We got to hear a little bit about his road trip. He has experienced charging issues. He did get ragged on, as he said, by his son. His son is traveling with him. He's a teenager. You know, teenagers don't let stuff go, about how he picked the wrong charger and it's slow and things like that. So he's experiencing things as
Real
we
life.
have.
Yeah.
and wanted to know, like, what our charging experience is like. And I think he knows we struggle sometimes with reliability, but I think he was also, and what's something that he's learned is our community that builds up around charging communities. And you even see it in the Tesla community as well. People sort of like, we're charging and this is cool. And but more so in the CCS because we're standing out there a little bit longer, I think. But Liv was able to, if you guys have seen our videos, you know that she'll give people a fancy pony.
Yeah, I should have brought one right now. Maybe you've gotten a fancy pony. If you have a Mach-E, I hope I get the opportunity to give you a fancy pony. There are these tiny little winged ponies that you can get at the Baker charging station, and they're my way of saying I like your fancy pony, which is basically what a Mach-E is. So I was able to give it to Jim Farley, which is super cool. It was really awesome.
And then he took it, and you know how like there's so many things going on, and it was like there's all of us, and there's photos, and he took it. It's like, this is really neat. And then you're like, yeah, that's just gonna like get handed off to somebody, and he'll never see it again. And then the next day, like he posted about it and showed it on camera, and it's like, I'm gonna put this in my office in Dearborn. And he really did seem to take a lot of interest in the community that's building around charging stations. So that was cool. And by the way, Talik has a role in our fancy pony story.
Oh, yeah.
Because we originally picked those up at the Baker charging station.
And had the best time handing them out for pretty much a year. And I thought that I'll obviously be able to find more of these. Impossible. You think you can get everything online? I could not find them. So someone had to go to the Baker charging station. And that person was not Talik. It was Sergio.
Sergio.
You know Sergio. He is
Mr. Lift Gift himself.
Lift Gift on Twitter, Big Surge on Instagram. He was on the Zero Run, and he picked up a bunch of bags of them, of fancy ponies, and he gave them to Talik, who then delivered them to us. So this whole epic thing, we now have more fancy ponies than we can probably use in the next few years. I don't know, maybe that's a challenge.
Yeah, it was about a month in my frunk they were living. I
I
was like, Liv, come get your fancy
busy schedules.
Get them out of here.
But that's just one thing. Like, we didn't actually do the Zero Run. If you guys don't know, it was Father's Day weekend, and we chose to spend it with Liv's dad, who she hasn't done many Father's Days with.
Yeah, not really. We haven't lived in the same country for a long time, and we haven't lived in the same state for a long time, so it's the first time. But maybe next year we'll do a Zero Run. Maybe we'll take him with us. But...
And if you don't know what Zero Run is,
oh man,
tell us.
So Zero Run is put on by F the Pump and Zero Emission runs on Instagram. It's basically a run of now a bunch of EVs. It's not just Teslas, even though we have a lot of Teslas because there's a lot of them. But Zero Run is where we basically go places that are like to prove that you can actually stretch your legs doing EV road trips. And one of the recurring ones that Will and Marty put on with F the Pump is to Vegas. We leave from the East LA area, more like Fontana, and drive out to Vegas. And actually this year, some drivers from Arizona and Las Vegas joined us at the state line. And it was just basically EV Madness weekend. We had celebrity cars and coffee Saturday morning. We could probably get more into Zero Run as we go through the summer, maybe. Do you want to talk only Zero Run right now? Or?
Oh, just go ahead and finish the Zero Run. We'll hop around.
Okay, we're going to hop around.
We don't know what we're going to do. We sort of wanted to highlight some of the summer fun and activities.
Yeah. But yeah, so Saturday morning, there was a celebrity cars and coffee.
What celebrity?
Well, that's what they call it. I don't.
You're the celebrity. Everyone's the celebrity.
Well, they had a whole EV section because we all kind of, landed in Vegas all together. With now Marty has there's a new club that's like a sister club of Tesla Club SoCal called SoCal EVs, and they have their new flagship Porsche wrapped in their mint and pink to match the Model 3. The Model 3 didn't go on the run. They took the Lightning and the Taycan, their new Taycan, to kind of spearhead the SoCal EVs side of the club for the zero emission runs. But we go out there, we hang out Friday night. Saturday there's the Cars and Coffee. After that we went to Red Rock, drove out to Red Rock Canyon. We had it pulled off, got some pictures. And some of us pretended to be like, we all ran out of charge out here in Red Rock Canyon.
But it's actually really cool. And F the Pump is the one that basically organized this, came up with the idea. But I joked about it before we moved out here to California. It's like, we should do one in Colorado. And he teased me, as like, no, it's trademarked. But they're great people. If you want to organize stuff like that, and like people, like we did a meetup today, which is why we're sort of amped up.
Pun intended.
People are like, how do you do these meetups? How do you do these things? And a lot of it, there's a little bit of legwork behind. Like, you got to make sure it's okay to like meet in somebody's parking lot. But for the most part, it's just like, just put it on. And if you guys need help publicizing that, let us know. We'll always publicize those type of things. And it's just a lot of fun. Like we ended up spending like 5 hours today doing a Mach-E meetup, and we hung out. We talked a lot about cars as new cars came in. Like, oh, look at that modification. What are you guys doing with this? What do you think about that? And then we had lunch and just hung out. And there was one Tesla there. Alex with QC Charge was there with his Tesla that has 448,000 miles on it. Just really cool. And then, it's just like, it's car stuff.
And side note, Alex, if you don't know, we have received a 2012 Leaf on loan from Kyle Connor with Out of Spec. He's lent it to us for as long as we need. And Alex, with the 440,000 mile Tesla, is the one who actually repaired it because the onboard charger was damaged. So it's so cool that we have this community where we have this dude in this really amazing Tesla that's fixing Leafs and RAV4 EVs, because that's what they have a lot of. We have Talik and Teslas, we have Mach-E's. So if where you are doesn't have a lot of Mach-E's, we encourage you, I'm just going to say it for all of us, to organize a meetup with everyone, because it's such a cool community regardless of what you drive. Whatever you drive, enjoy the ride. And it's true. And it's so fun that now this is starting to expand. So thank you for coming to the meetup.
Well, yeah, I mean, because, as I told you earlier, we've been encouraging you to come to Tesla Takeover and all those other things, and we've been...
And we did, and it was awesome.
And we, part of why we're here to talk about all the events we've done this summer, and it's like, yeah, like, of course I want to reciprocate, but also I want to go just to hang out with my friends, Patrick and Liv. It's not like, oh, those are my Mach-E friends. It's no, these are my EV buddies, like, so.
Well, it is, yeah, it does become like a little bit of a little, like, family reunion to see everybody.
And can we say the cat, please go to the Baker charging station and get yourself some fancy ponies, or find something that you want to give out, because it's just so fun to hand something to other people. And we've had people give us Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels and things like that. Paul, these are actually, we designed these laptop covers ages ago, and they're by Decal Girl.
Yeah.
Printed by Decal Girl, but we designed them. But if you guys are interested, we'd love to.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. We could share the image. We need to update the logo, because Liv has redesigned the EV Explored logo. It's actually hard to see on mine.
Colors, but I still like the green. We changed it to orange and blue. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Branding.
But speaking of merch, I think some of our shirts, if you scroll down, I don't know. I think it's in our store, or if you go like Mach-E Vlog, you can find these shirts. The Stay Charged is by F the Pump. So if you Google like Stay Charged, F the Pump, you can find that exact shirt. They have some other cool ones. I think I got like 3 or 4 videos that I've worn those shirts, because when we do Mach-E stuff, I wear Mach-E. When I do generic EV stuff, I'll wear some of their stuff. Although I think we need some generic EV.
We have some. We just haven't gotten them.
Well, and we also need ideas for shirts. So
yes, please.
Like
give us your ideas.
we'll do something with the laptop covers that you can then put on your own, laptop skin.
And actually, it's a reward for our patrons of every level is our desktop background. So we have like 200 images that are available to patrons.
Yeah, the other one I have from that I like to wear a lot is the charging green bolt with the it looks like an American flag.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's exactly American flag, but
that one's good.
Pump.
I like the one that says friends don't let friends drive gas. And it's funny because I never go to a gas station, but it seems like every time I put that on, like I end up stopping at a gas station to get snacks or something, and people are always looking at me like, what are you doing here?
Speaking of that, so I recently finally got an F the Pump sticker to actually put on my car, and I don't like to have a lot of stuff external, but I put it, I cut it up so I split it up, and I put it on my charging port on my Model Y, because when you're charging, you're F the pump and whatever.
Yeah.
But I made a reel out of me doing that. And oh my goodness, the comments, that really drove that reel to get a lot of views, because everybody's just triggered over like, oh, what's wrong with gas? Or, they have all these things. And I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to like save some money here by not using oil. But it sparks all these other EV conversations that are, but yeah, the stickers, they have stickers on their website as well.
So
they're pretty
Yeah.
fun.
we still consider ourselves relatively new to EVs. We've had our 2 Mach-E's, but Talik is at over 100,000 miles on his Model Y, but you also
Video
had,
coming soon.
Yes, we're excited for that one. But you had a Bolt and a Volt.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Model Y is your favorite.
Of those, I liked those other cars for their things, but if I had to like which of those 3 was my favorite to drive, it's the Model Y. But there's a special place in my EV heart for those other vehicles as well. And so as I said earlier today, when one of the Lightning drivers asked me like, so what do you drive? And I said, or what are you, are you a Tesla guy? I said, I'm an EV driver that drives a Tesla.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
And I find that
Nice to think.
we were sort of having this discussion, and we can go into the Tesla Takeover thing. So we went to Tesla Takeover. We have 3 videos up on that. One just about to take over, but the road trips to and from, and it was a great experience. And the way that the event was organized, they had a huge section of custom Teslas. They had a bunch of Tesla vendors, and then they had like a other EV tent. And there was a Lucid, a Rivian, 2 Rivians, the Porsche Taycan with Will and Marty.
Yeah.
And then we had a F-150 Lightning from Ford that was owned by Ford that has the Red Bull. I was
yeah.
thinking I said Pitbull.
Pitbull.
Pitbull Racing.
Red Bull.
Mr.
Red Bull.
Worldwide Racing. But anyways, Red Bull Racing, Sergio's Mach-E, our Mach-E, and we sort of were like fairly centrally displayed. And we were talking about that today because it was like, how many, like what's the balance of like Tesla stands versus Tesla fans? And I always make this distinction. And some people really hate that, but I'm like, if you're not a stan, you're a fan, and you shouldn't mind, because to me the stands are the ones that are like outrageously obnoxious about it, and hate any other non-Tesla EV.
Yeah.
But most of the people, and I said it was like, I literally think it was like 98% of the Tesla people that I run into are like, cool, I love my Tesla. Like Talik, he loves his Model Y, but if I asked him, I was like, you want to trade Model Y for Mach-E? You'd probably be like, nah,
I'm good.
He's good. And I'm not offended by that. And I'm not, and it's like he's not offended, and I'm like, nah, I like my Mach-E,
I still haven't driven a Mach-E, by the way.
We were just talking about
We were
that.
just talking about it.
I was like, we should go for a
Maybe
drive.
convert immediately.
No.
Yeah.
But that's not what it's about. Like, we need this variety of EVs because we're not all the same. Just not one thing is going to suit all of us, and I'm thrilled about that. And Murchie's girlfriend says hi.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
So I wanted to add to that. So if you're truly into Tesla, I would say you're into the Tesla mission, which the mission is to advance sustainable transport, or to accelerate the transition to sustainable transport. And Tesla can't do it by itself. Like it's just trying to lead the way and have everybody follow, or not. Maybe somebody will pass Tesla. Who knows? But the point is to set an example and to have to get all these other manufacturers to make EVs. Because back when Tesla was starting, like Elon even said, like he looked up cars, electric vehicles, there were none. And like, said, okay, well, who wants to make one? And like when he called up, the OEMs at the time saying, hey, can we make an EV? They all kind of laughed at him. It's like, so it's to get everybody on board with sustainable transport, whether it's battery battery powered or not. That's another discussion. But to move, basically, that's the whole point of F the pump too. It's like get off oil, like this, all the particulates and everything.
Yeah, it's actually a really fun community, and I mean, this goes back to like all the stuff that we've done this summer. Talik wanted to do a video and sort of recap some of this stuff and just some of the really cool things.
It's just been a whirlwind, like just to kind of be like, okay, this is what we did.
Yeah, we had our Ford EV meetup, which is cool because like we had basically another Ford EV meetup. Today we had, I think, 17 Mach-E's, 3 Lightnings,
How many partridges?
and three Teslas, because Elaine was there.
Yeah, Elaine.
Elaine, the president of the Electric Vehicle Association, Talik with his Model Y, and then Alex with his Model S.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we consider the start of summer in April, we kicked it off with our big Ford EV meetup. And we call that big because it was sort of our first meetup as residents here. If you don't know, if you're just tuning in, we moved from Colorado to sunny, not so sunny, San Diego. And we had met the Electric Vehicle Learning Center back when we came the previous year. They're super fantastic. They're helping educate kids and adults on electric vehicle stuff, all the way from like 101 to like EV conversions, which Talik is getting involved with. So we did our meetup in partnership with them, and Ford actually sent out a couple engineers to answer questions and to be like right here on the ground and meet with people, Mach-E owners, Lightning owners, everything. Like everyone has questions, and to have that opportunity to actually ask these Ford engineers was awesome. So that was our big EV meetup, and that kicked off the summer in April.
Well, summer, but we'll just say it just kicked off a flurry of activity.
Yeah.
And we've gotten feedback from some of the people from Ford that helped us organize that meetup, and they said the engineer was like, that was such a fantastic experience to learn from them. And I'm hoping the meeting with Jim Farley is the same thing. Like I hope that he got a lot of good feedback. He's I saw like he's visited several dealers. He's did some like kids event with bouncy castles and stuff.
Oh, right. And he powered the bouncy castle with the Lightning.
And I think one of the ones that was interesting is like he was at one of the dealers and somebody did a test drive, and then he got to talk to him right after the test drive. Could you imagine that?
Speaking of electric devices, somebody's weed whacking the other lawn right now.
Yeah, good timing. Hopefully these mics, you guys can't hear it at all.
Yeah,
but
please let us know if it's good or bad. Now it's silent. EVs must prevail. Yes, they must. By the way, Ammo Troop, which is Patrick's brother, is asking about that box. And this is part of the whole craziness of the summer is EV adjacent stuff and solar stuff. And this is?
It's a nice little portable stereo.
it's a boombox.
No, everybody always asks me like, is that like a little boombox? I'm like, no, because they see the vents on the side.
Yeah.
No, this is a Bluetti.
Oh, good.
Bluetti Power EB3A portable solar battery.
And if you search our channel for Bluetti, we did a review of it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's so small and portable. It's very easy. We got a bigger one that is like 8 times the power of that one, but it's a pain to move around. So there's pros and cons to going small. Like this, it can't power stuff for like a half a day. But like the bigger one, like we've powered our office for like 8 hours a day sometimes.
Yeah, which was super useful, specifically in the case when we had solar installed and they had to turn the power off for half a day, and we work remotely. So, and no one can hear the weed whacker. Yes. Awesome. Yay, mics.
Woo!
So, the summer, we got solar installed.
We got one video out of that. I need to do another video. Well, we sort of did 2 videos, but my nerdy video is coming.
Yeah, he's so nerdy.
It's been great, though. We're overproducing, even with our charging the car. I don't have the numbers. I forget the numbers already. But we're overproducing. Oh, you're scrolling through our videos. I'm like, how are you remembering this stuff? Electrify Expo.
I just realized I should hop on so I can chat there too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm worried about my Insta chat, but you know.
Well,
We can do them all.
hello, everyone. There you are. The Charge Positive.
By the way, there's still 2 more Electrify Expos, I think, right?
Oh my goodness, there's so many.
Vancouver is September 9th.
No.
Wait, that's
fully
fully
charged.
charged?
Fully charged.
Fully charged live Vancouver.
Is
yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah.
So, there's so many things.
So unfortunately, the fully charged out here in San Diego has been postponed / canceled till next year. We were hoping to host a bunch of people for that, but that's been postponed, canceled.
We were super thrilled. If you don't know, I like to preface saying Fully Charged is a fantastic YouTube channel all about EV everything. They're super amazing, and they also do events all around the world. fully charged San Diego or North America was last year in San Diego. They were going to do it again this year. We know that a ton of you guys were excited to come out and see it, including Lori. If she ever sees this, she was going to come out and celebrate her birthday. So bummer. But maybe next year.
But yeah, Electrify Expos. I think there's one in Miami, and of course, Austin is in November. And I know that because that's their final one, and it's right before the LA Auto Show. And I would love to go to that, but
Maybe somehow.
I don't know. I don't have any more time off.
Yeah,
And
that's
we don't have the budget to fly. But if I don't know.
I don't know. We can be wishful.
Yeah.
We win the lottery.
But they're great. If you're in those areas, check them out. They have like the
Spokane?
one in
Oh.
New York was great. They just had that, and they had the Mach-E 1400. They had hot laps in a Mach-E GT Performance Edition. They had the Volvo EX30, which I think is probably the first
Cannot
time
wait
it
to
was
see.
publicly shown in the U.S. Tons of the e-bikes, which we'll mention as well. We're getting into e-bikes. We have the electric bike company Model S, and it's actually really cool because the founder of Electric Bike Company is from South Africa as well, and they have a Model E. Tesla can't do Model E, but they have a Model E, a Model X, a Model Y. They have a Model S. They have a Model R.
these are all bikes.
They're all
They're
bikes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they all have different features about them. Courtney Vegan is asking why the San Diego fully charged is canceled. They stated that the Inflation Reduction Act was making a lot of the international brands and vendors pull out, pretty much. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's sort of disappointing, but at the same time, I do support that the Inflation Reduction Act is trying to get things manufactured here in the U.S. more, but it makes it hard for companies to want to come here to a trade show to sell their
Yeah.
stuff because they're not getting the tax credits. And I just heard, I think it was on NPR or something like that, they were just talking about there's a new solar panel factory that's opening somewhere, and it's going to employ, I think it was in New Mexico, it's going to employ like 200, 500 people, something like that. But it's another one of those, like, these are the things that are being made here. So it's great to see those things starting to be made here more. Ford, if you don't know, they're building a battery plant in Tennessee. They're building 2 in Kentucky. They're building another in Michigan if they can get through their approvals. That one's tricky because they're partnering with CATL, which is a Chinese company, and there's a little bit of resistance to having a Chinese company get tax incentives to build a factory in Michigan.
Yeah.
But the ones in Kentucky and Tennessee are in partnership with SK out of South Korea. So a lot of battery stuff being brought over. Tesla is building, they have battery plants, but they're building a lithium processing facility in Texas,
yeah.
which is going to be like one of the first lithium processing facilities in the U.S. I think it might be the first.
And they were talking about how they didn't really want to do that, but they kind of had to because not enough people were doing it. So they're just trying to get that supply chain moving, and so it is unfortunate as losing Fully Charged Live San Diego because it's partially because a lot of the import brands have not ramped up their production and supply chains in the United States for the Infrastructure Act. So hopefully once they are producing vehicles here, events like Fully Charged can feature cars that can be promoted because it's like, oh yes, we're making it here, and we'll, but it's like, a short-term loss to not have them at Fully Charged Live this year.
Yeah, it's sort of like with the charging stations. I think it seems like we've had a slowdown in some charging station deployments by EA and others. And I think maybe partially it's because the infrastructure bill, not the inflation, but the infrastructure bill is going to be funneling money through states who can give grants to help build these stations. But it means, like, I think some people are going like, why should we build this station when if we wait a year, we can get a grant to like pay for half of it or whatever. So hopefully,
Alex jumped on my Instagram. I wanted to say hi, Alex, before he leaves.
Oh, cool.
Someone who was with us today.
Shout out earlier. So Alex is the one with the sweet Tesla with 440,000 miles on it. Actually, he wrote it down today. It was like 444,777 or something.
Yeah.
That's a
yes,
lot.
448,
A lot.
right?
Yeah. So if you need anything fixed, talk to him at
Over
QC
at
Charge.
QC Charge, or Quick Charge Power. Yeah, QC.
QC Charge
Charge.
in Vista.
Yes.
Vista, yeah.
Howdy. Woo!
And Mach-E Connection, Dustin, right? Dustin?
Yay, yeah.
I forget names. Good news, and
Yeah.
hopefully they're getting you squared away on your paint issues, because that I know they're aware of it. That's all I can really say. That's all that they really said to me, but I know that they're aware of it, investigating. Hopefully they're getting you squared away.
And Dustin has a YouTube channel too, so check it out.
And he has a slate. Like, sometimes we get off topic from Mach-E. He stays on topic with Mach-E, so he has a lot of good stuff coming up. We have some, we need to do more Mach-E stuff, but
We have so much stuff coming up.
we're
so much
torn.
stuff to edit.
We try to, we're interested in all EVs, but we know our channel name is Mach-E, so we had some thoughts of, like, should we just switch to EV Explored? Let me try to, I don't know, switch to just EV Explored and make it that. But that's like a different channel.
We're
Should
not
we?
sure how to do this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? We'll get on the spot.
I can see both sides of that, because that's kind of why I have Charge Positive, was to be sort of brand agnostic sort of thing, and also I started it before I had a Tesla anyway. So, EV Explored, I want to support EV Explored because like you just said, you want to support all EVs and all surrounding technologies. So maybe I don't know. Maybe if Mach-E Vlog could be like the flagship that also I don't know. It's
You guys will have to tell us too, 'cause, like,
Yeah.
this is a hobby that we enjoy so much, and we really love the community and the EV industry, and educating and advocating about it. So we're having a great time, and we want to keep making whatever content you guys want.
I forgot.
I know, you're like, and the content that we want. But fortunately, that's typically in line. So
Well, it's always interesting because, like, we have to like, we see the analytics, but we also have to weigh comments. So we'll get comments of like, "Oh my God, your video is way too long," and I'm like, "Yeah, but we got like 10,000 views and a lot of positive comments." So
more Mach-E, less Tesla. That's like Tesla Takeover was definitely a rarity. QA Library, by the way, where are you in the world? Lori, a media empire would be amazing. Lori is the one who unfortunately was going to celebrate her She was going to celebrate her birthday at Fully Charged, and now she needs a new amazing birthday celebration. So if any of you have an epic idea for Lori to celebrate her birthday, you should put it in the comments. I think getting a Volvo EX30 would be pretty epic.
yeah,
I want to drive one of those. I love that ad they did with the little like make everything mini or little small.
Yeah.
It's just like, it was so well produced. It's a little long. I mean, but other than that, if you actually watched it, it was like really cute. Everything was all about how small they made it, but yet so big too.
yeah,
And it's powerful and efficient. Like,
yeah.
let's
What
go.
more could you want?
You know.
And
go.
I don't know how
Sorry,
deep we are
that's
into
Liv's
the
line.
live stream, but I'll mention something else that was, and I've heard this from Jim Farley, so it's not like sharing insider stuff. Liv's nervous.
Yeah, like, what?
But he was talking about, like, and this makes sense, trying to, with the new generations of EVs, it's like the whole idea is like trying to win with efficiency and aero, and part of that is taking advantage of EVs to maximize the interior space while not maximizing the exterior space.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting thing the way that he put it, but it sounds like they want to take like Explorer size, big, or even Expedition size, big EV interior, but put it in a smaller package so that the less frontage space that you have, the better. Because like one of the things people talk about is like aero, but aero is sort of like there's like two parts to it, because like you can have a very aero design, but if it still has a lot of volume to it,
The frontal surface area.
the frontal surface
Yeah.
area, doesn't matter how aero it is, if it's a huge big thing, it's going to have a lot of resistance. This weed whacking, I swear.
Let me know on the Insta stream if you can hear the weed whacker. Hopefully
It's
you.
getting closer. Hey, from North Carolina, of course. Yes, cars that can fit in parking spaces. I'm excited about that. I would love some smaller EVs.
And another thing, because this is a live stream and nobody watches these things,
Aw, except you guys. You're awesome.
we are also looking at our September, and we may have some travel to Denver, and we may be on the East Coast in New York. We're still trying to work this out.
Yeah.
50-50 chance that we could be in upstate New York at the end of September.
Yes.
So we're working on
If
things.
we are anywhere, I totally looked at the webcam. Hello. If we are anywhere, we'll definitely let you guys know. And maybe we can do meetups all over the place. They're so fun.
We'll always try to do meetups. Oh, and then the other one is like we're looking at doing a meetup in Vegas in October, possibly 8th or 9th, I think. But we're not sure. We're trying to coordinate. That would be Columbus Day weekend.
Hi, John.
Hey.
John just joined.
Oh, cool. So we've done our previously largest meetup was in Vegas. There's a super awesome dealer out there, or a guy who works at a dealership, and he also has a Mach-E, Corey Medina, and he's just really cool with the community. So whenever he sells Mach-Es to people, he seems to really care and help them and keep connected with them. So whenever we've gone there, we have a super fabulous time. And we get to have a meetup at Meow Wolf. If you don't know, Area 15 in Vegas, Meow Wolf. It's a thing. We have videos.
Oh, Area 15 is so we hit Area 15.
Went there, but you didn't go to Meow Wolf.
Well, because the last year's Zero Run we did axe throwing,
That's pretty
and this year less people. We were kind of tired, so we didn't axe throw. So we just hung out at the axe throwing beverage area bar. But yeah, Area
Skip
15
the axe
is
throwing,
crazy.
skip to the beverage.
The other thing is they started charging a cover. Like there's like a cover to get into Area 15 on Friday
What?
nights now.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
so
like a club. It's a very cool.
Look up Area 15, look up Meow Wolf. So by the way, there's Meow Wolf Santa Fe, the original, Denver, Las Vegas, and they just opened one up in Grapevine / Dallas area. So that's our dream goal. I think Electrify America should sponsor us to do a road trip and visit.
Meow Wolf.
so
Yeah, Meow Wolf / Electrify America collaboration. You can throw Ford in there. We don't want to really take money from
They're listening right now.
manufacturers, but yeah, I'm sure they watch all
They watch all of
our
our
Mach-E vlog.
Dustin, Mach-E Connection, says they need a Northwest meetup. Dude, host it. I think you're pitching it right now. Pick the place, pick the date. We will make a noise about it and share all about it.
By the way, I don't do a lot of other family stuff, but my son is moving up to Seattle in about a
might be
month.
in the area
So
much.
we may have way more reasons to visit Seattle in a month. Because we were sort of planning.
we should do a Seattle road trip. Yeah, I haven't
Road
gone
trip.
north yet. I need to go north.
Yeah, we haven't gone north. And then, of course, we've become somewhat friends with Transport Evolved.
Well, no, they're awesome. If you don't know them,
They are great.
I always preface they're a fantastic YouTube channel. They are far, far bigger than us. Their content is amazing. They have color graders and script writers and all this stuff, and they're on the pulse with everything that's going on. Nikki at Transport Evolved is super phenomenal. We're patrons of theirs, and we think the world of them. We have to go visit.
They made the shirts for fully. Were they the ones that made the shirts for Fully Charged Live?
They
Or-
did make some shirts.
So I think I have one of those.
Really?
Maybe. I'll put it this way. So we went to the Aptera Gamma release last September, and Nikki was there. And I feel sort of bad because we rolled in and we had our two cameras,
Yeah.
which by cameras I mean our phones. And I'm like, Liv's like, okay, I'll get over here. And I'm like, okay, I'll get over here. I'm like, I'll get up close. All right, I'll get the wide shot. That's all the coordination we did, and we just sort of stood there, no tripod, literally just okay, I'll stand here as still as I can, and that's all we got. And then Nikki and her crew came in. She had a cameraman, lights. They had set up time. Camera person.
Yeah.
And then they had an interview scheduled with the CEO after we got all of our stuff.
They're
And
very
it was
good. They're
wow,
very
they're so good.
We got
Oh my
we got J5 Johnny in the house. He's the
Hey.
guy that converted or made that Toyota Hilux. So he converted a 1972 Hilux with a Tesla motor and an i3 battery. So he's somewhere in the chat right now. So J5 Johnny, he's got a J5 Creations, does a lot of conversions. So
YouTube, Instagram.
he's got I believe he's got a YouTube. Yeah, he's got a YouTube. He's on Instagram, also Twitter. But yeah, he used to work with EVUS, but still has good connections with them. But maybe he'll come out to the open house next Friday at the EVLC for the VW project bus reveal with Mr. G. Mr. G's been leading a team converting a Volkswagen bus that was donated by Mr. Tom Summers to for the EVLC to learn how to teach how to convert the cars.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, Johnny does say he has a YouTube, so
Awesome.
check him out. He's got a lot of cool projects, a lot of e-bikes. May have something in the works with a new way to have a simple EV conversion bolt-on solution. So stay tuned. I don't want to spoil it, but he's working on something cool with being able to add motors to conversions.
That's cool.
So,
It's so cool. There's so many different projects happening, and things are just going to keep evolving. I'm just catching up on comments. Eric, thank you everyone for your votes on what we should do. We got a lot of stay Mach-E vlog and have another channel. A lot of people chatting about where you're located, connecting with each other, which is so awesome. Really sounds like there needs to be like a Pacific Northwest meetup.
And the gum wall, I got to mention, my
the
brother
gum
mentioned the
wall.
gum wall. So we went to Seattle 2019, year before pandemic, and we went to the gum wall,
It's a wall of gum.
but we went,
It's a wall of
it's weird,
there's
but
one in Slow too.
but
yeah.
we went
Really?
Yeah.
like the week after it had been shut down where they cleaned the wall. So we got there and there was like maybe 100 pieces of gum on the wall, which sounds like a lot, but there's normally thousands and thousands.
And I think you have it now, like post-pandemic. It'd be super.
I know,
cool.
it's sort of gross. But it's also weird because like all the little stores around there, they all have lots of gum right by the register because it's like buy your gum to go
Oh,
stick
yeah.
on the gum wall. It's weird.
Catching up more, Ray Cheese says they got their Mach-E because of us. That is an amazing honor. Thank you. And you'll have to tell us what the name is. We also hope we get the Tesla adapter.
Yes. It was funny because we had no idea what Jim Farley was doing and whatever, and I was like, maybe he's going to be like, here, you guys have a YouTube channel. Here's a Tesla adapter. Go test it out. And
Wishful.
That
So
did
Yeah,
not-
we're
that did not
good 6
happen.
months early probably for that still. Huh?
Sorry, Ophelia mentioned dog mode somewhere up there. That was, we all got to request stuff. That was my request, dog mode, pet mode, camping mode, whatever. So by the way, we're going to get an opportunity to sort of give some more input to Jim Farley or to his team. So if you guys have burning desires and wishes or things that you really feel should happen, please let us know, because we kind of have this direct pipeline. It's really rare.
Indirect, but
Indirect,
direct.
but we've been asked for input that's going to be given, and we'll probably put it together shortly.
And we sort of like, because like people are like, what did you ask about blah? And we're like, I think he knows about that. So and we had limited time. So we sort of like limited what we were going to say or trying to figure out. But I'm hoping that we can give him a long list of little things.
I mean, those are just amazing opportunities when you get the opportunity to be a direct feedback loop on something that's just evolving as fast as it is right now. Like, I mean, I thought meeting
Yeah.
Franz was fun, but like a couple of us like threw a couple of suggestions at him, but it was mostly like hanging out, getting things signed and whatnot.
Did you
But
tell him like round off the cyber?
no. I mean, I heard.
Don't throw balls at the.
Well, people were asking him to throw a ball at the one that he took to the Peterson, but I didn't ask many questions of him or make suggestions. I was just trying to enjoy the moment. But even with Franz, it wasn't really planned and it wasn't about that. But you guys had the experience with Jim Farley to actually like, this is what it's about. Lend me your ears or tell me your
Yeah.
thoughts.
It seems like, fortunately, because he was on this road trip, so it seems like he's given that opportunity to multiple people. It all kicked off at a Cars and Coffee at the Ford ADAS facilities. Where is it?
It's in Palo Alto. Yeah.
So they kicked it off there. People got to meet him and the team there and have some input. And he's met with people along the way. So it's not just us. And I really hope that both Ford and other automakers take this opportunity. And I think they will, because ultimately, like, realistically, they want to make money, right? And they make money by making a good product that has everything we want. And listening to us is a big part of that. So we get this chance to like make YouTube channels or Instagrams and be vocal, or you guys share with us and we elevate your voices because we have that opportunity and we don't want to waste it.
But I do have to say, like, and I think this is something that it's hard to convey how remarkable I think this is, but it was a small group of us that got to meet with Jim Farley, and I'm like, yay, we got to meet with him. But and I think that was super impressive because I got to meet with him. But the thing that was like actually more impressive to me is that he had like the club president of Tesla Club SoCal.
Marty.
And he had Eric, our friend that's down here in San Diego that used to be involved with the Tesla clubs down here. He had a Lightning and sold his Lightning. Not that he hated it or whatever, but he has dogs, and like the Rivian R1S, the SUV version, is just better for his lifestyle.
Also
But he
soft for a bit, I remember too.
but he had a lot of
There's lot
issues.
to share.
He had a lot of
input.
criticisms. And the fact that they were like, let's invite them and let them give input as well, I thought was, to me, that was like more impressive than meeting with a bunch of people that have a Mach-E channel. Because, yeah, I have criticisms, but I'm like, obviously I love the car and I would buy it again.
Yep.
So my criticisms are like this, but it's like,
If someone got rid of it, that does say a lot. And the fact that the CEO is willing to listen to them is really cool.
and from what I understand, of course, his team organized this, but they don't just, like, you're not going to organize criticism for your boss unless your boss is really adamant about, you know what I mean? Like, if your boss came in and was like, hey, don't give me just all yes people, you're going to be like, yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm still going to give you yes people because I don't want you blaming me for what they say. But they must have given, so that's what I was thinking about. It's like they must have given his staff, or he must have given his staff, like, really good direction of, like, I want some almost anti-Ford people.
Balance panel.
Yeah.
Balance panel.
Can we give some shout outs? Picasso PC also bought their Mach-E after watching this channel.
Oh, wow.
Appreciate you. I mean, we share because we like it and we gain nothing from you buying it. It's just a cool part of this community and cool to see people go electric. So you have to share the name of your Mach-E. Shout out to Steve B. He has a fantastic YouTube channel, Plug and Play EV. So you should check him out. He's very, very cool. And who else? What are we saying? Lori, your wish list, let's just say we got good answers about that. So
Not necessarily for the Mach-E. They know that, like, so like the dash cam Sentry mode thing, they sort of threw around the idea of like, oh yeah, that seems like something we should add, but just thinking about the capabilities of the Mach-E, like, I don't think it's well suited for doing a Sentry mode where it's broadcasting up to the cloud or recording. There's no like device to record to, so those are things that I think are going to have to be on a refresh Mach-E or Lightning or whatever they announce next. But that's something. And I like my brother suggesting, like, let's see, app where I can click say, in 30 minutes I'm going to drive the car. You can't pre-start the car. And the one issue with that is, like, if you say, like, start the car, it turns on the HVAC system, but it doesn't actually precondition the battery. So, like, if it's cold in your garage or parked outside, it'll turn the heater on in the car, but it won't precondition the battery. But if you set a destination, or not a destination, a departure time of like 7:30 in the morning, then it will pull power and precondition the battery. Little weird thing. And
Speaking of condition, I'm gonna get some more ice.
Yes.
I'll be
I gotta give a shout out, Rachie, or shout out. You're in Vegas, awesome. We were actually just talking about potentially having a meetup in Vegas, October 9th.
8th or 9th,
8th or 9th.
whatever this Sunday is.
That Sunday.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a Sunday. Still working with Corey, who works at a Ford dealer there.
Yeah. So keep an eye on here social media, and we'll put it in the community tab if we do it.
And I hope it's that weekend because it's Columbus Day weekend, and we can do a joint thing or something in conjunction with Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
And we talked about Meow Wolf as well. So
We kind of like Meow Wolf. If you
I'm just
We-
realizing
we-
my mic is on, huh?
oh yeah,
My mic is
you guys are hearing
that, you hear
somebody
Tyler,
getting ice.
ice and beverage.
But that's also the great thing about these mics. We only have
Sorry,
two
Pat.
with our system.
Sorry, that was
Yeah,
probably
Kat
pretty
said
loud. I'm
it's
sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoops.
We didn't think about that. Tyler has a big mic on his phone, and he's mic'd up, and that's why Patrick keeps like wobbling this around.
Our apologies.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Meeting Jim Farley wasn't necessarily on my bucket list, and
It's
trivia.
a reverse bucket list, which we like to say is something
Yeah.
you didn't realize was on your bucket list until it happened.
But I did shake his hand before, and it's when they rolled out the 7th generation Mustang last year in Detroit at the auto show. And I was like, oh, wow, he's like just roaming. I'm going to go say hi. So Liv was like, I'll film. And I went up and I'm like, hi, I'm Patrick. I'm with the Mach-E vlog. And he goes, you know, the Mach-E is the reason why we get to have a 7th generation Mustang because blah, blah, blah. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I just got the handshake and then he moved on. And I was like,
Speaking of shout outs, on my Insta, I believe I have a Lightning owner, the Bow family. I think they're also on Twitter.
He met
Yeah.
Jim Farley up at Palo
Yeah,
Alto.
he's talking about Palo Alto here.
Yeah.
And he commented also they could use a USB stick, on the previous conversation.
yeah, they
about
could,
the dash cam.
but I don't know if the ports in the Mach-E would, if they had the hardware to support writing data
Yeah.
to it. Although it supports CarPlay and Android Auto, so I would think, but the way forward and their 150 modules are, who knows?
We were just talking about that today, yeah.
Now we've learned that the weed whacker you can't hear, but the ice you can hear. So sorry. Thank you for being here for this test.
Whoops.
test
I'm not used to having a wireless
I
mic on
know,
me. I set up my own now thanks to Kyle, but I'm still getting used to actually having them on my person.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm sorry about that,
virtual
everybody.
everything.
Yeah,
Yay.
we've forgotten it a couple of times.
Patrick has a great story where his he clipped it to his
Oh.
pocket and then he went into a restroom and it's
What's
magnetic.
up, Tesla Tony?
Hey.
Sorry.
So he went into the restroom and it stayed in the restroom.
Oh.
There's a really strong magnet here.
Yeah.
In fact,
Fortunately, it wasn't recorded.
Too bad it wasn't the Madonna in bathroom. That thing was pretty epic.
Oh,
that was probably
right.
loud too. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, we have to stop torturing people. They might be wearing headphones. Poor things. Oh my gosh, we started this as catching up on the summer, and so much has happened that we're all
Yeah.
over the place.
What else
which is
from the
great.
summer?
Well,
or
so
news?
you started off talking about your meetup, but we skipped over like
Everything
Route
we
Zero. We skipped over.
We did hit Route Zero a good bit.
You kind of.
No, we hit mostly.
You went
the-
straight to Expo, I think.
Yeah.
So we did our big meetup, and then I'm scrolling back in videos. I'm like, where even is it?
Well, so maybe if you've just joined us,
Hello.
here's a little update of what this live is sort of about. It's been such a whirlwind summer, even though it kind of started in the late spring, of just event, this, that, this. We didn't go to all of them, but we've been at a lot of the same events, and I was thinking it'd be great to just kind of take a minute, relax a bit, and just catch up and reflect on all the things that's been happening, at least even just in SoCal, Southern California, of all the things going on with the EV community. And I kind of mark this as sort of like where we started with Route Zero. Like that was kind of like the kickoff to like this, boom, 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 boom. At least on my
We have
side
a
of it.
video on Route Zero, if you're curious. It was basically a relay across the country from
Oh God, I forgot Route Zero.
Route Zero.
Yeah, Route
It was
Zero.
a Zero
run.
Yeah.
run, totally different.
Yeah,
thing.
Route Zero.
Route Zero. It started on the Santa Monica Pier. We all went there, and we were
And
able
EVA
to-
was there.
The Electric Vehicle Association was doing this in conjunction with people named. Who was it in conjunction with?
Ed Begley,
Ed
the
Begley
city of Santa Monica.
Electric
Uh,
Vehicle Association was one of the participants.
One of them,
like
yeah. So they kicked off this grand relay, which took 2 months, but not because of EVs.
So it's
because it
done
was
now,
like-
right? They finished it.
done,
Okay.
But basically, it was like multiple people taking different segments, people having real lives, and then like they'd stop there, then someone else would take over. And they were going to deliver. Somebody help me.
Signatures.
Signature.
What was the trying to get the EPA to keep good or stricter emissions requirements?
Reduce emissions requirements. There's stuff going through the EPA now, rulemaking. So that was the overall goal. So there was publicity stops along the way, and it was a fun kickoff. And we get to ride us on the Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, large. How many pound Rivian R1S and a Lightning were on the corner?
I think
which was,
8,000 and 9,000 pounds.
Over the weight limit.
This was right after Eric got his Rivian too. It was like maybe a month or so after he got his Rivian.
Yeah, because that was in May, right?
Yeah.
And he got the
I think he got it in
the
March,
week before our meetup in April.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's chatting still about the ice and live mics. At least it was just ice, and we didn't hear you going to the bathroom. So that's good. Okay, so we kicked off the Route Zero thing. We have a video on that. If you just look up Route Zero, literally a coast-to-coast drive. Then there were huge Mach-E price cuts. There were Tesla price cuts.
It was just all over the place.
Price cuts everywhere.
Yeah.
We were like really late on releasing road trip stuff. So I'm looking through old videos. I'm like, that's not even.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, then there was
Expo.
Electrify Expo, which was super fun.
That was
we
a huge
talked about that a
weekend.
bit, yeah.
Well, but what
was-
didn't you cover really in your? Because you had mostly a walk around video.
We
but-
did mostly a walk around video. Lightship was there. We didn't cover them there, but we covered them at Tesla Takeover.
Did you talk about Media Day much?
Media Day was cool, but we didn't document a whole chunk of it. So Electrify Expo, open to the public. There are EVs, major automakers were there, Ford, Tesla, Volvo, whole bunch of people. BMW. So you could go do test drives right there. You could do test bikes, test scoots, all sorts of stuff. But they also had a media day that we didn't film much because it was a lot of like presentations.
And they were
industry
recording a lot
stuff.
of it anyway.
Yeah,
They
you
were
could see
recording
those
a lot of it.
online.
But it was really cool, more of the like, hey, industry, come together and see how the industry is doing and learn stats and all
Talk
that.
about Lacey's thing, the little
Oh, yeah.
little-
Miss Go Electric.
yeah.
She has an amazing YouTube channel. If you've ever watched Inside EVs, Miss Go Electric is now the new weekly presenter.
104.
One of four. Not sure if the others are rotating out, and she's like the solid.
But she will be 104.
She'll be one of four. So she's a new presenter of their Friday podcast, which is super awesome. She's amazing. She is also doing group bike rides with Aventon all around the country. They actually had one yesterday morning, I think.
In Utah
In
near
Utah.
St. George.
So if you were ever
Yeah.
curious, the super cool thing about her bike rides are that Aventon's giving away bikes at them, and it looks like you have like a 1 in 20 chance to win. Anyway, so at the Electrify Expo Media Day, Misco Electric, Lacey was doing like a networking panel. So it was like, everybody meet each other. And it was so cool and interesting because it was like, here are lawyers, like EV lawyers or whatever. And we met them. And then we'd go up to like, I can't even remember. There was so many different people. And you're like, what do you do in the EV world? And there's like everything. Everyone is doing something different and interesting. And it's expanding.
We got a water bottle. That's all I know. It's like the lawyers gave us a water bottle. I'm like,
They
cool.
did?
Yeah, it was like
Oh, a rubber squishy one.
a collapsible water bottle.
Collapsible water bottle.
Yeah.
What was your highlight of Electrify Expo?
Expo was I really liked.
Oh.
It was really cool to check out Lightship. But for me, even though it cost probably 2 or 3 times as much, I was really impressed by the living vehicle, which is basically meant to be an off-grid home, not just an RV, but it's like an off-grid home on wheels. It has solar on the top. You can basically live off-grid. It can produce water from the atmosphere up to 5 gallons a day, depending on your humidity levels and all that. So you can truly have an off-grid home for the low price of, I think it was like $500,000 or $600,000.
I think
But
it said
it's-
like bare bones is like
But it's not
400,000
supposed
or
to be
something.
an RV. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be an off-grid vehicle an off-grid home that
Yeah.
is a vehicle as in like you can drive it out there and it's probably going to stay there.
Yeah.
By the way, big shout out. Kyle's here. Kyle Connor from Out of Spec Everything.
Hey, how's it going, Kyle?
Super awesome.
Who is
Thank you
he?
for coming.
Who's-
He's there. Who's that guy? Do we have his car?
Did
or
he comment?
something?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was actually going to take people on a
Yeah.
tour before we got started and
Oh,
show them like
seriously?
our Leaf. Yeah, but
Oh.
I don't want to walk through with the camera.
So if you just joined,
You join us here.
you join us here at the palatial homes of No.
Okay, we got to do big arms, big arms, big arms.
Hey.
We got to do out of spec arms.
Out of spec arms of it.
We're all drinking pink drink. If we were going to, what was I going to say?
Hey, what's up, Richard, on Instagram? How's it going?
I have to explain. So Kyle's Leaf is here. He was kind enough to loan it to us. We have a video on receiving the Leaf, and we actually just got a ridiculous amount of cleaning products and like fragrance things from McGuire's. They sent us this like box, and we're gonna make that Leaf amazing, amazing, and then we're
And
gonna
cleaned.
make it and clean and smell really good, and then we're gonna make it weird, probably. So first, nice and smell nice, and then weird. And we are open to suggestions on what we should do with it. Anything's a possibility. Kyle says yes to anything, right? I think. Right?
Well, I mean, while people are thinking about what to suggest, the other, like, a week ago, we took it out to go get some takeout.
Yeah.
And the first time ever, I drove a Nissan Leaf around the parking lot.
Yeah.
Period, but it was around the parking lot.
It's a neat little car. We've
Okay.
used it now a couple of times because like visiting Liv's family, it's like right within range. But it is I think a Leaf is great to cure your range anxiety because you only start with like 49, 59 miles at most. So you're living.
Oh, yeah, if you
You know what I mean?
It's your survival training for EVs.
Because like you start with another EV and you're like, oh, I got 300 miles of
Yeah.
range. You get down to 50, you're like, oh my God, I gotta get home. Here you're like starting at 50, and I'm like, we went to your sister's house, and we're like, we're not taking the freeway
What's up, Frankly?
to or from, and it did fine. It burns through range quite a
More
quick.
so than you
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah,
Quite a
we
bit.
lost, 3 miles going around the block?
Yeah, well, so we did. It had 59 miles of
Oh.
range when we started, and we drove 32 miles round trip. But
Are
it
we running
used
out of
like
bandwidth?
49
video
miles.
got blurry.
Are we
Maybe it's as the stuff gets dimmer. Are we clear? Are we clear?
Uh-oh.
Make it focus. No, wait, we're watching.
So, anyways,
Sorry to interrupt.
no.
I will say though, when we went to pick up food with the Leaf, the combination of the food and the smell of the Leaf was not great.
Well, it is,
So
but that's almost any
Older vehicle.
12-year-old
Yeah.
vehicle
So,
smell, or 10
one of the things McGuire's gave us that they sell and we're really interested in is it's like an odor bomb. So you close the car up, you set it off, and then the idea is like it isolates the odors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have like a sweaty gym bag that you put in there, it's not going to like future-proof odors, but
From
it
more
will
sweaty gym
get
bags.
rid of the odors that are currently in there. So we're really excited to give that a try.
It's funny because like we went to their facility and they put us through
Whose
like,
facility?
McGuire's.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have like a whole training thing, and so they taught us a whole bunch of stuff. So one of the things was that those scent neutralizers do the job, and then it'll just not stink, but it doesn't smell good. It just doesn't stink. And they found that people were like, it's not working. It doesn't smell anything. So then they had to go add scent back in. So we have like summer breeze scent or something. And it's funny now thinking of that as like, it doesn't have to smell like this. It could have still worked. But I totally get that. Like I want it to smell good.
But we got Leaf Spy so that we
Yes.
can sort of
Leaf Spy?
Buying on
Leaf Spy.
Leaf Spy.
So we
Spying
can
on
dig
it.
into some look at the condition of the battery cells. It's not like completely balanced right now. And I was talking to Alex today at the meetup, and he's like, just keep charging. Don't leave it sitting at 100. Run it down. Don't let it go down like all the way, and like hopefully it'll balance itself out a little bit. But
Oh, and shout out Eric Cottrell. Thank you. Pointed out that Kyle has a bunch of videos on his channel of the Leaf getting fixed. The Leaf, the level 2 charging was broke. Oh, level 3.
Yeah.
Level 2 was broken. It could only fast charge.
I was just
so-
watching. Yeah, actually, so when Kyle came
He
out
has
here
a
for
bunch
the
of great
Leaf
videos
getting
on that.
fixed, first of all, he got to do a tour and getting
Alex
the
is in
Leaf
the chat.
fixed, and then he also did a tour of EVLC, which is fantastic. You should check them out, support them. We're big fans. And I was just editing this video. I should release it at some point. It is our first time ever experiencing FSD beta.
I wish I was in the car with you guys.
My
You will
only
be.
my
In the
only
video. Yes.
like spoiler leak is that it is my prediction that this will get more thumbs down than any video that we've ever
Oh.
done.
Well, anything that we say Tesla-wise potentially will.
Previously, it was the Model Y review that we did, which
Yeah, that got a lot of
We should do a swap day.
I thought about that.
Oh.
You know, like
Yeah.
where just kind of living with the vehicle for not just a test
oh, yeah,
drive,
you
but
can
like
take the Leaf.
no, I'll take the Mach-E.
Eh.
Will I
You
have
take
any?
the Model Y, I'll take the Mach-E. I'm good on the short range EVs. I've done the short. I had a Volt with I'm good on.
By the way, the Leaf is for me to use because I go
There you go.
10, 20 max miles. So
Yeah.
it's definitely useful, but we do need to have a long range vehicle, which
We-
I'm glad we did.
We were talking.
Glad
We
it's
should
hard.
get you in the Mach-E.
Well, it's like it's
Yeah.
similar specs. It'd be one.
and they're both blue.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
knows how to
if I
pick a
had a
color.
Spark line or a Chevy Spark lying around, or Spark EV, then I would say let's
Oh,
swap for the
yeah.
Leaf. Which I still kind of want to get one of those. Those
I
are
really
fun.
thought about it. Like, they're the cheapest.
Yeah, and
So-
they have DC fast charging with CCS.
There was a couple that we chatted with online when we were just getting our Mach-E, and he was looking at getting a Mach-E, but his garage was a Chevy Spark and a Model X, and he said 9 times out of 10, unless he was going too far, he would take the Chevy Spark because it's way more fun to drive.
Well, it's also easy to park. I mean, parking my Bolt was
Yeah.
piece of cake. I have a couple of
Oh,
pictures
so nice.
of me downtown San Diego where there's like this long Mercedes sedan parked way, like the wheel is over the space line into my spot, and I put my Bolt in there, and I still had like room to walk around. So yeah, the parking
That's
in
why I
Bolt.
want smaller EVs.
Yeah,
more
like the
smaller.
EX30.
Yes, can't wait.
And as Kyle pointed out, Alex is in the chat. I think Liv might have pointed that
We
out.
pointed out earlier, but we gotta assume, like, if you have just joined us, Alex Bessinger in the chat is with QC Charge in Vista, California, and he's the one who repaired the Leaf, so we can now charge it at home, which we are so very thankful for.
It
Thank
makes
you.
it so much easier
Watch Kyle's video on that.
when we're like getting down to like 20 miles of range and we're getting close to home. Before it was like we're getting down to 20 miles of range and we're close to home, but we got to go drive to a Chatamo charger.
Oh my goodness.
And then it's like, is it going to be, because it's like, even if it's working,
Oh, you
like
know
I can
what?
check and see if it's working.
You guys moved here. Did you ever know about the EVgo that was?
Yeah, when we bought this house, it was there.
Yeah.
And then when we closed, they
Yeah,
took
the
it away.
Walmart just
Yep.
down the road here.
a mile away.
Yeah, I don't know how. I didn't want to say if you wanted to say
Oh, it's
location.
fine. It's-
But yeah,
10 miles away.
I used to charge my I used to charge my Bolt there back when you could do a $6 session and just go to town on
yeah.
the credit card reader. But yeah, it's like that would have been perfect for you guys because it's literally right here for Chatamo.
Well,
but
we moved in, and of course we, as soon as we move in, we just have the 110.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no problem. We have the EV Go over there, and I'm like, let me go check the status. We'll go over there and charge, and I'm like, it's not showing up. So I was like looking, and then we went over there and it was gone.
Very
Yeah.
sad.
yeah, we need to not be losing chargers. Like let's fix the ones we
Yeah.
have and not rip the ones we have.
Well, what bugged me is like around Denver, they replaced some of those chargers, but they replaced them. Actually, it wasn't even those. So they had 100 kilowatt chargers, and then they replaced them with 200 kilowatt chargers, but they're 200 amps, which means the most we can get is 75 kilowatts out of it with the overhead and blah, blah, blah. So it pissed me off because it was like, oh, we've upgraded this station. They would send out an email, and I'm like, it's not actually an upgrade for 400 volt systems.
Go EVLC joined on Instagram. So we also have 2 live streams going here. We have the YouTube going, and my Instagram is live right now.
On Charge
so,
Positive with the Z.
with the Z, POZ. But yeah,
Positive?
I'm probably Margarita. How's it going, Margarita?
Or Steph, maybe?
I'm not
We'd
sure
have
who
to
runs
say
their
who it
channel.
is, Yeah. Carolyn Bray, by the way, she also has a YouTube channel. If you ever want to make a YouTube channel, you should. It's super fun. Just do it. She has a Leaf,
Yeah.
and she has road tripped this thing like crazy.
She was
Yeah.
just at a
She's in Colorado.
Colorado meetup thing with Drive Electric Colorado, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's done a lot with them.
awesome.
Her videos are great. She's
Yeah.
like, as Liv would say, she's intrepid.
She's super intrepid. Yeah. I mean, hello from Colorado. She's been doing this stuff for years. She goes to all the meetups. She loves to road trip her Leaf. So go watch her YouTube. And I think it's very inspiring. I'm not road tripping the Leaf that much.
But we did say, we were talking to Alex today, is like, if him and Kyle, it's not going to be us, drop the big battery in the Leaf, it could have close to 300 miles of range. I was like,
Legit.
if they do that, we'll road trip it to Colorado.
Especially if it smells like summer breeze. Not if it smells like it does now.
But and of course, the problem with the Leaf is like, even if it had a 300 miles range, that first charge
Yeah.
would go sort of okay, but then the battery gets hot and it can't cool down. So then the next charges probably would not go great. But although 300 miles, you get pretty far. It would.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to say thanks, Steve, on YouTube, saying he's going to go check out the stream to give me some. Thank you for the engagement over there.
Mutual engagement.
So,
And we literally are just sort of rambling. We keep talking about things from the summer, highlights.
You have just joined us. The initial purpose of this, we'll just keep introducing it and then starting again, was to summarize a lot that's happened. I have something I want to jump into. So it's like everything that's happened this summer, NACS. So I'm looking through our whole list of videos and everything, and there's one here with me with the Disney ears on. Where is that? The NACS announcement.
speaking of video qualities,
I know, video quality. Oh my gosh. So
I watched that podcast.
Kyle's one?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle, so much for having us on with you and your dad. Basically, we were at Disneyland when Jim Farley and Elon Musk went on Twitter Spaces and announced the NACS partnership, the first one. Amazing, so exciting. We immediately made a video on it and then uploaded it from Disneyland. And then we hopped on Kyle's podcast, and it was awful audio quality, just awful, because we were at Disneyland and we had no mics or whatever. So hopefully this is better. Is this better?
Yeah. And I'm actually like curious because we've talked a lot about NACS, we talked a lot about superchargers. Jim Farley was interested about your feedback. I'm interested about your feedback. And we've sort of gone through, like, I mean, I'm excited because I'm never going to turn down charging options. I'm excited because we've had very good luck at EA. We've never really had issues. Our last session was an issue because of the mall, not the EA station. But we've had fairly reliable EA chargers that we've dealt with. But we know they're getting more crowded. They seem to have more reliability issues. Are you guys excited about access to the superchargers? If you go into a situation where you had a supercharger and an EA station, would you?
Which one would you pick?
Which one would you pick? Yeah, because like for me, I'm like, I know I can plug into EA, and the cable's going to be long enough. Supercharger stations, it's going to be difficult at first to always be able to plug in and not tick off a Tesla driver, because we're going to basically have to take up 2 spots because we're going to take up the wrong spot to charge. So I don't want to like tick people off. But then again, if I'm on a road trip and pulling into a place like Green River where I know EA is always busy, the stations are derated, but there's like a 20 station supercharger stall, I would probably go with the supercharger, but that's a V2 station, which we won't have access to.
Yeah, and that's what to remind people is the 12,000 they keep mentioning, which that number is growing, but that's basically the V3 ones that are going to be access to that. It's going to, like you said, it's going to come down to like, is it going to be one where it's not that busy, so you're not going to blocking a spot will not be that big a problem. It also comes down to price sometimes too, and I used to use EA a lot more when it was cheaper than supercharging because it was that flat 31 cents a kilowatt hour. And many of the superchargers here in San Diego in the middle of the day were 45 plus. Sometimes, in fact, they were getting up to like 58 cents or something like that. It's kind of calmed down now, which is nice. So some superchargers are actually cheaper than Electrify America, especially now that Electrify America has brought up their prices. So. It's and also here we only have like a couple of stations with 8 or more, like most of them are 3 or 4 stall Electrify Americas here in San Diego.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we learned very quickly when we were on 110 volts out here and looking at we're going to have to charge more publicly is at the EA stations, they're not as big of installs out here. And like in Colorado, when you're trying to charge and like save money, it's significantly more expensive to fast charge. But here, it's not as, like Colorado was 8 cents per kilowatt hour overnight. And here overnight, it's, for some people, it's like 31 cents or so. And the EA station in the middle of the day was 31 cents.
But it's not as good for your battery.
It's not as
Yeah.
good for your battery, but
Well, if you're on the TOU5 plan, it's 15 cents a kilowatt hour.
yeah.
We
Overnight.
might need to switch too, but we work at home. So.
And that's the other thing is like the number of rate plans they have is stupid out here.
By the way, Plug and Play EV on the Insta stream, thank you, brings up a good point that the EA price changes are coming soon, so they'll be station dependent. So we won't have that flat rate at all the stations.
Good.
So it's going to turn into that per station price.
It's going to be really hard. And what's frustrating is like sort of EVgo does that a bit already. And it's really frustrating because there's times when, now this is, going back to like, how are these networks so bad where an EVgo station, it listed one price in the app when I looked at it. PlugShare had a different price, and the PlugShare price was correct when I actually plugged in.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid is that? Like, their own
And
app.
also, PlugShare's, user updated sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost like the Wikipedia. When I try to tell people get PlugShare, which hopefully soon I'll have another app to talk about, but when I say get PlugShare, I'm explaining to them it's kind of like a Wikipedia map database, because people can update it.
Yeah, it's super helpful. And then, of course, we've been doing a lot of Rate Your Charge lately, which I love.
I've stopped doing. I have barely done any.
Well, we haven't fast charged much. Our
That
last
too.
our last one.
I did one at 3 a.m. on the way back from Takeover.
Well, it was. Oh no, I guess.
Well, if someone doesn't know what Rate Your Charge is, it's on Twitter. Kyle Connor made it, and it's where you rate your charge. You just go
You tag
Rate Your Charge.
Rate Your Charge, and ideally, what you want to do is like state your location, what you're charging, and do that in text. But it's really helpful if you do a video. If you don't want to do a video, at least do like a photo check-in or whatever.
I think it's really fun too to see what everyone's doing.
Well, and here's where I think is like a huge difference because when you check in with other apps, they generally want to go, did you charge and how fast did you charge? But with Rate Your Charge, what's your max charge? That doesn't tell the whole story. So it's sort of like Rate Your Charge.
How many times did it work?
I can sit there and go like, because and we're sort of good. Like we know like check the station ahead of time and I'm like, okay, we're plugging into station 2 because 1 is down, 3 and 4 have been derated, or somebody had a Rivian had problems there yesterday. So we're going station 2. We plug in, we have no problems. So when we check in, it looks like everything was just perfect. But when we do Rate Your Charge, I'm like, we checked in, everything is great. This one's down, this one's derated, this one had a problem, and the light is flashing, like at the one over here in Oceanside where it's like disco light flashing. It's creepy as heck.
Right. It could look
But
creepy.
they can sort of like collect a little bit more comprehensive data because there's so many times I was thinking about it. It's like I'd say our success rate of charging has been 100%. Our success rate of like charging with absolutely no issues is probably 90%. It's actually really high. But if I look at like how many times have I been at an EA station and at least one station
Somebody
is down?
else is dealing with the problem. Yeah.
Or had to move, or had to restart. Because even our most recent video, just driving down from Tesla Takeover, we charged one time and we had to restart it.
Yeah,
It
but that was the
out.
first time in a while that we've had an issue.
But I think we are particularly chill about this. So the fact that like sometimes we have to switch stations, I try to think like I would be super mad. I would be super mad if we weren't like, I don't know, trying to be optimistic about EVs, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, and this is
You have to keep like backing out and then like they're all in like annoying
Yeah,
spots.
if this is your first EV and I've encountered this with many Solterra and Busy Forks drivers.
Busy Forks?
Busy Forks, right, Kyle? It's Busy Forks.
Forks.
There are a lot of loyal Subaru drivers, and I had a Subaru way back before I had EVs. I had a Subaru, then a Matrix, and then my
Subaru.
EVs. And I love Subaru, but the problem is a lot of Subaru people are like attached to the brand and they're like, okay, the first EV I'm going to get, it's going to be a Subaru, and then they get that, and then they deal with like the charging speeds and or the network's problems of
It's crazy because like being in Colorado, there's something about Colorado and Subarus.
Oregon too.
So we talk about all these different EVs, and we're excited by a ton of different EVs. But then the first time we mentioned Subaru Solterra, everybody's like, I want that. Like all of our friends on Facebook, and I'm like, We just said it was crap. Like, why
Well-
would you want
Well,
this?
we
Well,
don't,
well,
we
as-
don't know yet.
As many point out, the
But,
vehicle
yeah.
itself is okay. Like the
Yeah.
driving experience is not
Yeah.
We haven't
bad.
driven it yet.
Okay, I drove a two-wheel drive Busy Forks, and I wanted to drive a Subaru version, but at the time I couldn't because they were actually. It was still, I think, it was just before the recall ended, the stop sale. So
Yeah.
I couldn't get my hands on a Solterra to test drive, but I did. It's more or less the same vehicle, and it was just out on back roads of up in like Escondido.
Yeah.
With the two-wheel drive, and I actually like driving it. I need to
Oh, it's a
post that footage.
good car other
Yeah,
than
the charging. So when we're
range.
talking about the car, it's mostly about the EV side of the experience,
Yep.
right? The charging and the range. But the driving experience, the handling when the wheels stay on, it's pretty
Well,
good.
that's the thing.
So for the Colorado people, I was like, they're gonna go from Denver.
By the way, thank you, Mach-E Connection on Insta. I see you there. Thank
he's
you.
both.
And shout
Yeah.
out to Corey Medina.
Oh, and Caroline jumped on too. Thank you.
Yay!
Woo.
And Corey Medina on YouTube. He works at the
That's the one
Las
in Vegas. We're gonna-
dealership who we're gonna have a meetup with
At some point in October.
Maybe. Yeah.
But the Solterra in Colorado, it's like people have it in Denver. They want to drive around 100 miles or 80 miles up into the mountains to go skiing and then drive back into winter. And I'm like, you're going to have to charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like your experience is going to be so bad, like if compared to a lot of other EVs that you could drive up there and drive back and then charge when you get home. But
Yeah.
like it's just rough.
October 8th.
October 8th, it looks like we're
Nice.
doing that.
Oh, that's a Saturday. Excellent.
Is it Saturday?
I think so. Bye, Kyle. Thank you so much for joining
no, it's
us.
Sunday.
Yeah, come right here. Love a tiki mug waiting.
Yes, we have, and you know, this is a fire pit, so it would be really great, but it would also be very bad for our laptops.
Would do that. Sunday.
We also want some feedback, and we should probably wrap this up. We've been going for
So long.
80 minutes. But we want some feedback. I don't think we're going to do one every week or every month or something like that. but
Especially not in September.
not in September. We could do it if
October.
if people actually want this. I mean,
Did you like it? First,
Did
tell
you
us,
guys
did
like
you
it?
like this? Is this fun?
we don't want to be like a Inside EVs that's done like.
No. They're amazing.
Oh, by the way, batteries included.
Batteries included is the new
Inside EVs, and the old Inside EVs is also great.
which has Lacey from Misco Electric. If you just tuned in, we covered all that.
Watch both at the same time.
But I don't want to do.
one in one ear, one in the other.
That's what I literally did.
Yeah, we did. Hopefully, someone will change the time.
But they did like 200 weeks in a row or some
Yeah.
crap like that, or up
Amazing.
over.
Well, Tesla
We're
Time
not
News
that
just did
reliable.
361 in a row.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like
Zach
I don't
and
want
Jesse,
to
yeah.
commit to it, but
Yeah. The cat, if we do a live stream, give a warning ahead of time. So we were at our meetup. It started at 10 a.m. and we finished at 3:30, and we came over here and we were all like, oh, just lots of sun and talking.
Well,
and
yeah.
Talik earlier was like, you should notify people. And then we just had a crazy time at the meetup. So then we just got
Yeah.
there and didn't tell
Well,
everyone.
the live version of this was kind of sort of last minute because we were
we're
originally
going to
planning to
record and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
So
wanted
we-
to do a summer
Is this
like
more fun?
recap.
Yeah.
Well,
we do like the live.
well, the reason I wanted to do live was like, hey, well then we can interact with the
It
comments.
feels a lot better.
Yeah.
So let's
Oh, cool. Corey is planning stuff for
Ooh.
the meetup.
Plug and play
Yeah.
says would love to see more of these.
So
Oh, awesome.
we'll-
And it doesn't matter whatever day works for you, Corey. Rachie, if you are still listening, listen to Corey because that's all the details in the Vegas thing. What were you saying?
I was just saying we can schedule these. We can try to schedule one in advance. September is super crazy. It looks like we may be on the road
Maybe.
5 weeks in a row, 5 weekends in a row,
I'm having
potentially.
a big birthday, which is not related to the travel.
It
We're gonna
is.
Try to fit that in.
It was all for her birthday. She's
So we
lying.
should talk about what's coming up then. So
What is coming up?
Any last points of what we've been doing and like what's coming up in the next few weeks
So our friend's wedding.
in the EV space. In the EV space.
In the EV space, our videos, we got to spend some time in the Mercedes EQS SUV,
That's
which
a,
is
that's a
we
lot
haven't
of
done that video yet.
that's a
have
lot
not.
of
That is
consonants
a-
to get out.
yeah, that's a mouthful, and that is woo, like an amazing car. This was
I was going to go through quickly.
okay.
We have a
That
Leaf.
video is
We have a
coming
Leaf update.
Leaf update.
us taking it to go get repaired. It's already been repaired. Spoiler.
Full self-driving.
Full self-driving, and our first Tesla supercharging experience.
We do need to schedule it, Eric says.
Um,
Oh, thank you, Paul. Hit the bell icon and
yes. We'll
get back.
I'll start updating. I'll get a common place of where we'll announce this as well. So it's not only Twitter.
Everywhere.
Well, also before we wrap up here,
Yeah.
since this is not, well, if you're watching on YouTube, this is not my channel. So give these guys a thumbs up, a bell, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as well as let's see some super chats go their way. Let's help fund some more of these projects here.
Aw.
And-
And if you're on Instagram,
You can send a gift on my reels, but it's a ripoff.
Heart it.
Instagram takes like 50% of the gifts.
But look for some
you
big
send.
things from Charge Positive. He's
things.
a great creator. His Instagram
More
reels are
happening.
awesome. And
They're
he's,
okay.
he's going to be getting into some long form stuff, 100,000 mile Model Y review
Yep,
to start
I just
off
hit
with.
in just under 2.5 years. I hit 100,000 on my Model Y, and so let me know what you want to know about a Tesla Model Y after 100,000 miles.
So, other EV stuff. Detroit Auto Show is in September. I have not heard anything at all.
Hi, Olivia.
oh,
Oh,
like me.
my friend
Dustin,
Olivia.
thanks, Dustin.
Oh, thank you so much, Dustin.
I haven't heard anything about Detroit Auto Show. I heard more manufacturers
What's
not
coming?
showing up. And then I
Yeah.
heard another thing that was like more manufacturers are showing up, but I haven't heard any EV stuff.
The LA Auto Show, we're super excited about. That's where we first
They were setting up
saw
in
the
September.
Mach-E.
That's where I first saw the Rivian. I got to talk to RJ Scaringe.
Oh. So that's a super fun auto show that we're definitely going to. It's also up the road. for
Drive
us,
Electric Week is,
yeah.
by the way,
September,
the last
October.
week of September. So it's like from the 24th through October 1st. Look for events in your area. There's usually, it's sort of funny because it's Drive Electric. So I was like, oh, we're going to go on a drive. I was like, no, we're going to just go to a parking lot and then talk about that we drove.
But it's like the
it's
perfect
great.
opportunity for people who are curious about it to go learn about it. So go to driveelectric.org.
Just Google.
Google Drive Electric.
I think it's
and
National
then
Drive Electric Week or something like that.
Yeah, National Drive
and
Electric
You can put
Week.
in your zip code, and there's always tons of stuff happening.
If we don't go to New York, we'll participate in events out here,
Yeah.
but we're gone the first
Elsewhere.
weekend.
Everywhere.
And then the next, September 30th, October 1st.
What do you have coming up?
Well, next Thursday, the EVLC will be taking the Project EV Volkswagen bus down to an Encinitas car show Thursday evening. That it's done in time. Well, hopefully, I have
He's
faith
been
that they'll be
watching the
doing.
whole process.
I've been there almost every day of the week while watching Mr. G get the. Well, actually, he's been gone. He's been working on an off-grid solar project in another state. But while he's been gone, the team has been working to clean up the shop and get everything else besides the motor going. So anyway, the Volkswagen bus that they're working on with the EVLC should be debuting Thursday evening. And then Friday at the EVLC, they have the open house showing the bus as well as the whole EVLC. And also EV West is right next door if you want to check that out. So that's the first
We
thing
might
coming up
try
here.
and check out one or
And
both. We have
EV
tickets for
West,
something that night, but
Epic conversion people, like renowned conversion people. Corey Medina asked, if money was no option and the Mach-E didn't exist, what EV would you buy? I'm going to answer for Patrick. Taycan? Taycan.
yes.
Yes. What would I
I got
buy?
to drive one.
Yeah.
What would you buy? Money, no object.
I'm.
But you would still
Which
probably
EV?
still go like Volvo EX30.
I would go Bolt because that's what's out now. Because it
Aptera,
doesn't.
if you could get one.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's out now? Bolt. I would get a Bolt. I like.
With no money being no object.
Yeah, like it's not that I have to have the most amazing thing. Why? What else is there that's
I'm
nice
just, well, I'm
and
just
small?
saying if you can splurge, you know.
What's nice and small?
For you, which plaid would you get?
Way to steal my thunder here.
And I'm teasing. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not a Tesla guy, but the
What?
plaid is
So,
pretty awesome.
okay.
Taycan, Corey. What?
Well, so does it have to be just one EV? Because I don't want just, okay. So money no object, I would get max spec Cybertruck. Just get that in the
Oh,
garage,
yeah.
outside the garage.
Are we doing things that are real?
Well, they're coming. Like if you've been watching the pictures, they're coming. If it has to be something I can buy today, I would probably I would finally go see what the fuss is about with the Model S Plaid.
Yeah.
I would have to also, if I had money, no object, I'd have to buy a new house to have a garage I could fit it in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
no.
right now,
Life just got
my
epic.
roommate has his motorcycle in front, so my Model Y fits, but anything longer than Model Y. And then, if I'm trying to pick a non-Tesla, if money were no object, maybe a Celestiq, but those aren't out yet either, right?
Yeah,
340,000. You know, it probably. Well, I would love to have a top spec Rivian. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Or a Hummer just for funsies. Just
Archimoto.
Would you go with the?
I'd buy 5 Archimotos.
Oh yeah.
Just different
The-
colors.
so
Those
that
are
was-
fun to drive. I've
that-
driven them multiple times.
That was sort of my thing when
Buzz.
somebody was like,
Oh my gosh, the
Buzz.
Buzz, yes.
Buzz.
oh, the Buzz.
We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about the Buzz event either.
Oh my god.
Oh
the
my God.
the
Okay,
Buzz
we'll do
went
that, then
Buzz.
we'll go.
We all went to the Buzz event.
They were invited, ish.
You
I-
were invited after you
I kind of crashed
crashed
it.
it in the best way.
So
and now
the only difference
so much
between how you
happened.
got there and how we got there is we didn't get invited.
What's up,
So-
Will? F the Pump just joined on Instagram. How's it going?
So
Hi.
Liv messaged somebody and said, "Can we be invited?" And what you
I
did
don't
is you
know
basically
how
went
this
there and then said, "Can
Can I
I
be
come
invited?"
in?" And they
Yeah.
said yes. So it's the same thing.
So it was an epic
Kyle
event.
helped.
Kyle Connor has an amazing walk around video. I'm forgetting that I have to talk in this. Kyle has an amazing walkabout video on the Buzz, and this is the US specs, so the longer wheelbase. And
It's the studio
it was
video. The studio.
Studio video, and it was filmed by
Yeah.
yours truly.
I held the camera. That's
You
what I
helped?
did. I
and
held.
you're like your
Hey,
reflection is in there.
The way he
Like-
moves around, it could be difficult. We've been there, done that.
My favorite part of that
Yes.
video is still when Kyle was checking out the sliding window. Just
Oh, yeah.
so much
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Oh, and the roof, just switching on and off the roof.
Oh, I know. Well, it's like us with the Lexus. We were
Yeah.
like driving down the road. I'm like, this is so cool.
By the way, at our meetup today, Joseph we filmed short forms, so we're not going to be releasing any video on this. But he was at our big Mach-E meetup, the Ford meetup, and he's recently added the electrochromic roof to the glass roof.
Should we add it?
I think we should.
I'd
for
love to
sure.
have it on my Y.
Oh,
my
gosh.
god.
So at the touch of a button, it goes opaque. It looked exactly like it was in the Lexus RZ450E. In the
Look at that
we
video.
just did. Yeah.
We're just going to reference every video.
Well, I do have a clip of
Subtly.
that if you guys need some short form
Oh, that's right.
teasers
we
of
were driving
that.
in the car.
Under the bridge.
Yeah,
in
under the Balboa Bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey's wife isn't into cars at all, and she said she wants the Buzz. I mean,
I tell you, it's like
It's really
the Buzz is a
epic.
minivan. Let's just face it, it's a minivan, and you guys and me included, like we're all crushing on a minivan.
Well, and also as a Lyft driver, I would love that would be an awesome
Yeah.
Lyft
Oh my
vehicle.
God.
That'd be,
Yeah, that'd be
so
perfect.
because there's so much room. It's a party bus.
oh
you know,
yeah.
you get the
Oh, you
jams
could put a
going.
little disco ball. in
Disco
it.
ball, you got the roof going, and you know also those mods where you get the lights in the headliners and stuff like that.
Somebody needs to do that.
And if you haven't looked into the Buzz, like some of the little details are so cool. So like the little center console, you can
comes out.
comes out,
Yeah.
and then like the dividers for like the cup holders, like you pull one out, it's a bottle opener, and it's like little details like
right, I
that.
forgot
So like
about
everybody
that.
loves like in the Rivian, there's like a flashlight in the door.
The door, the
I'm never going to
7,000th
use
one,
that,
yeah.
but a bottle opener I'll use. And removing the center console thing, I'm like, he was like, this makes it easier. So like
You're
if you're
not gonna use a bottle opener though. Do you drink out of a bottle that much?
a baby bottle.
A baby bottle. I think the flashlight's actually really cool. I just think it's awesome that automakers are doing this stuff. Love Easter eggs, and the Buzz is absolutely packed with it. What car has an umbrella in it? Anyone?
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce. That I want. That's cool.
By the way,
Just the umbrella. in
the
front.
Easter egg in the Mach-E.
Hi, Diana.
If you don't know, and I just like because we have a lot of people that aren't as familiar because we did some of these in our previous videos. Does anybody know how many Mach-E ponies are on the Mach-E? And
11.
It's different from the premium versus
I don't remember that. I know we
the
did a video on it.
I have no
GT.
idea.
I don't actually remember, but but I think
What
it's
kind of Easter egg is that if you're not going
but
to
I
tell anyone?
but I think it's
You know what they
7
should do? They should put their vote with a super chat. However many ponies, that's how many
you.
dollars
Oh.
should be sending their super
Oh,
chat.
it's a lot of ponies.
But I was gonna say, I just want to say, I think it's 17.
I think so.
And then on the GT, it's 16 because we were missing the rear pony. And then there's the electric ponies live here on the motor that you can't see unless you get up underneath the car. It says ground speed because the Mustang was named after a P-51 Mustang, not the horse.
Man,
Yeah.
you're just burning all the Easter eggs. We gotta do a video on this. We gotta have intrigue. No, okay, carry on.
Well, but
Actually, we
this will be
can.
the bonus for watching the live stream.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you were one of the
okay.
few, or how many we got watching here?
34 amazing
34.
Okay,
people.
34 people get the nice
All right.
Easter
And
eggs.
your people. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this madness.
And just remember-
First time trying this together. What?
You're
What
wrapping
Are
up.
we wrapping
Oh.
up?
Yeah, we're at 93 minutes. We're worse at Inside EVs or getting there.
Or
Well, longer is better. If people are
is it
enjoying
better?
it,
I don't
if
know.
they're liking it.
Should we keep talking? Probably not.
Okay.
I do want to
I'm
know,
hungry.
Justin said that the umbrella thing is popular and that there are other cars that do that. So I want to know if there could be a secret thing hidden in your car, what would it be? And not a weapon, because that's kind of like, ugh, but like something fun. What?
Well,
I was just reacting to the
you know what we
one.
need? We need the NACS adapter to like.
Oh, just pop out of it?
Of course, they're going to have the NACS port, but
Yeah, but the adapter should
if somebody could retrofit like a,
It's like a door
Oh,
card
thank you, Howie.
modification.
Corey says stay. And now we're just
I mean,
gonna sit here
I'm
quiet.
good. I mean, we've got our Cola Zero caffeine going
Oh,
through.
are we not
Well, because you didn't want to do brands.
Yeah.
Cola Zero caffeine is probably finally kicking in. What I want to throw out there is maybe let's talk about what was our favorite moment of the summer, and then ask everybody else, what have you done with your EV this summer that was a lot
yeah.
of fun?
yeah. If you have something interesting, we could do a video about it.
Light up magnifying
Especially if you're
mirror.
down
the
here.
Skoda has an umbrella. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Very excited about
Well,
that.
it's hard to think about my favorite moment from the
Or
summer.
favorite event?
Favorite event. Electrify Expo is pretty great.
Yeah, that was a big party.
Yeah, Tesla Takeover actually surprisingly was.
I'm really glad you guys had a good time. Like
We had a
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah.
time.
See, the problem is we enjoy a lot of things, so it's like everything was the favorite.
For me, what's kind of funny about Tesla Takeover is that it's sort of like when you're out of town. So when you live in San Diego and you go out of town and you want to order a craft beer, and
Yeah.
you're like, let's say you're in like Arizona or Colorado or somewhere, like, I'd like this, see your craft beer menu, and it's like half of them are from San Diego. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like when I go to Takeover,
Oh.
kind of half the people I see are from San Diego or SoCal.
It's like
But-
we could have just did this meetup in San Diego
Yeah,
and saved a lot of
but-
money.
Why
There's
even go
there are
there?
so many people that aren't in the area. That
Yeah.
was awesome for me about Takeover, seeing people, bearded Tesla guy coming all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
Tesla Latino also coming from Florida.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I think he came from Florida. Yeah, they road tripped all the way out there.
What was
Just all the people you meet.
I knew we'd have the enthusiasm and stuff, and that was a lot of fun.
gotta look it
And
up
I
in
gotta
2024.
admit, and we got Mach-E people. It was actually something because like we put a little bit of this in the video, but it was like the feeling behind it was just like weird because we show up the morning when Tesla Takeover is starting. There's a little bit of like you go in and it's like, where are they going to park us? And they had like general parking, and I was like, I really don't want to just park out in the big giant field with a bunch of other Teslas. Well, Sergio and Jake were like following them in, and they're
I
like,
thought it was the plan to have you in there all along.
well,
You just never know what's happening.
it was. So from what I understand, Sergio was like, I'll go, but if I get to park with the other EVs, I'm not just going in the parking lot. And then he convinced Jake to come out and participate. And then he found out we were coming, and he was like, follow us in. So he coordinated that, but it was like, that was coordinated with John. So John knew, but like the people like at the gate
Yeah.
didn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
John
for how
has-
much they were tackling, there was a couple of communication snafus, but other than that,
Oh,
the
it was-
event was really pretty, smooth.
Pretty well run. We have more glitches with our Mach-E meetup with 17 people than they had with this whole
Yeah.
event. So it was actually fantastic, but it felt really.
Especially when you have third-party security. That was probably the,
Yeah.
the fall through.
But we had the whole thing of like giant parking lot being filled with Teslas or grass field. And then it's like we just snaked around, and it was like we had to like wait. We have like 3 Ford EVs lined up, and they had to like, let's send security over and open the gate. And I was like, we're literally gate crashing
Yeah.
at Tesla Takeover, and then parked in like fairly decent central
Yeah.
spot.
Well, so this is like the second year. So to provide some context, so I've been to all three of them. And the first one, I don't think there may have been like one non-Tesla at the first Takeover, the first one in its current form at the Madonna Inn. And then last year they had a center ring, like like kind of an umbrella that you were buying, but that was more like in the middle. Last year, where they had like, because the Rivian had finally come out, and it was like right before everybody just got their Lightnings and Rivians. In fact, last year you can find it on one of my reels.
The tug of war.
Scroll way down there. Yeah, they did the tug of war with F the Pumps Lightning and oh my God, Rivian's Rivian. And it was a lot of fun. But of course, they had different tires, and
and it's a grass field. The Rivian.
I think the Rivian one,
Yeah.
but then there's always like who had a good start. There's lots of content out there about that. But what I was getting at is that they have this is now the second year that they've actually had like showing non-Teslas featured at the event. And that's one reason why I wanted you to come is like join the party and just show how more EVs are coming out.
And one of the other highlights, of course, was we did. They had Holly High Voltage, which is basically go out to an airstrip.
Love just.
Oh,
well, the mask did it too. Your eyes with the mask that made it such a cool preview.
but
moment.
we went out there.
Go watch it right after this, Holly.
Yeah, it's our Tesla Takeover video, and it's at the
Yeah.
beginning, so you don't have to watch through the whole video. But I didn't find out about it until after the registration deadline. So they're like, so I was like, I was telling people, I was like, yeah, we can't go because we didn't register our car. They're like, oh no, you can just go ride with other people. And then we got there, and it looked like basically they weren't checking. I could have just signed up on the spot. And I was like, ugh. But we rode with Sergio and his Mach-E, and it was really cool. Like he did, I think, really well. He did 14.
His slalom looked good, but as he talked about, he had a couple of things under the
A lot of people had some modifications.
Yeah.
But the Plaid S was just, oh my God, that thing just flew through there. I think it had an 11-second run. Sergio was.
So with Holly, I was riding with Eric and in his Plaid, and I haven't heard why, but they didn't let people ride in the Plaids. Like you could ride in any of the cars except Plaids, even though the other ones are just as fast but almost as fast. But,
yeah.
But so because I couldn't ride in the Plaid for the drag racing, the straight shots, I was like, okay, well I'll film the cars. But then it was getting hot, or it was already hot, and we were like, they didn't really want to do the slalom. So we left to go to dinner right as you guys were starting the slalom.
Yeah.
So our Holly experience didn't really overlap timeline-wise. Like I think you were getting there like as we were leaving.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I remember seeing Eric.
But it was a lot of fun regardless. Just hanging out like at this airstrip in the middle of
I think
Central California.
It was cool because I filmed Liv and Sergio doing the first run, and like people were surprised. They just assumed. Because they've heard, the 5-second thing with the Mach-E, and it's about a, 10 to 20 second is about the range of times. I think people just didn't expect that. People have seen the Moose test, which is also on a premium, not a GT. So I was like, I knew it was going to do
those are crazy.
fairly well.
Watching a RAV4 do one of those, you're like, oof.
What is
Yeah.
a moose test?
It's basically swerving like, oh crap, there's a moose, and you gotta kind of get out of the way. And
I think it started
That's
like in
funny.
Scandinavia. That's
Yeah.
where they do it. But yeah, it did really well. He does have anti-sway bars, but maybe next year we'll get to make that run.
We have so much lovely input. Corey had a really great question of what software features from other EV manufacturers should be implemented into the Mach-E. I said dog mode, but he also had a good one of the blind spot camera from the Kia Hyundai. If you don't know, like when you indicate, it like pops up the blind spot on the screen, which is just so cool, whichever side you're indicating.
The first 30 minutes, it was annoying when it did that.
Really?
And then I'm like, this is actually cool.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I could see that on
The
everything.
heads-up display of the EQS is pretty fantastic.
Amazing. Totally
The
agree with
EV6
that,
is
yeah.
okay. The EQS
EQS.
is fantastic.
We have so much footage that we need to edit of that, but the heads-up display for the EQS, it like has the navigation and it comes closer as you come close. It's like it's situational.
Yeah, it's a bit more virtual reality.
Yeah. Augmented reality.
Software-wise,
so this is where I need to just drive more cars. Like I'm just.
Yeah.
it is interesting. So
Super awesome.
So if anybody has any test vehicles, they're like,
the Tesla interface is basically the smoothest, but I don't like the lack of Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and in my opinion, and the former head of Google, Yui, has agreed with me, so I take that. But the design layout and font sizes and stuff are, and color combinations, because it's very gray, is not optimal for driving at 70 miles an hour. But it's the smoothest, most tightly integrated. It's like
We can now adjust text size though. I don't know if you knew about that
Oh.
update. So
Yeah.
I actually, even though I haven't hit 40 yet, I have brought up the text size just a little bit on my Tesla
Which
screen.
funny, and this sort of goes back to like our Model Y review, was like I mentioned, it's like the font size is just way too small, and like half the people called me boomer, and the other half are like, oh my god, that drives me crazy. So that had Teslas, and they're like, yeah, it's way too small, because it was like something that popped up. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like a warning pops up, and I'm like, what the hell does that say? And I'm like. But Tesla has like the smoothest interface because they had the best computer behind it.
Well, now I would like, the refresh Model S and X now have that really good computer that you can
Even
stream
better now,
games on.
yeah.
But the Model 3 and Y now, I don't. Mine's older. I don't have the newest computer. So if I could do an upgrade, which I can't, but I would love
Yeah.
to have that newer computer just to make things smoother.
No, we had a Model Y rental and we streamed something. What did we stream? That was like a live stream.
Twitch, it was Goldfish.
We streamed Twitch. Goldfish is one of our favorite bands. I keep looking at the webcam. Hello. So we streamed one of their shows from the Tesla, and I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, that's
I
one
did
where
like
I was
that.
like, this
Well
is
parked.
stupid, I'll never
Well
use it.
parked. Yeah, no, really, we were at a parked.
But another one, I was like, stupid, I'll never use it,
Hey,
but it was actually
Christian.
useful.
And then we did, and we were like, this is awesome. By the way, so through all this stuff, I've been fortunate enough to start writing for a Girl's Guide to Cars. And one of the things that we try to do is to be factual, not overly critical, because facts are the facts. So, like, we
Just
got
the
to
facts,
drive.
ma'am.
It's just the facts. We got to drive the Lexus RZ 450e, and it has less than 200 miles of range. That's a fact, and that is a lot less than a lot of other vehicles at that price range. So we try not to necessarily be too critical about this stuff, because we all have different opinions. We all might like something, even if it doesn't have the best range or all the power. So it's part of
That's why I still have kind of a soft spot for the Solterras. There's some of that Subi, personality still in me, but also, I want these other EVs to succeed. So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that some things happen in these where they don't have the range or they cost too much or not. But you can't just.
The-
yeah, and the clearance of those. Like
yeah.
8
Oh,
inches,
yeah.
awesome.
Going back to the software, I think it's unfathomable that like Kia and
Inconceivable. Sorry.
Kia Hyundai, they don't have true EV route planning. I think they've added it now, but when we looked at it, I was like, this is unbelievable. You're selling an EV. The Lexus had like the noisiest, most annoying interface. Some of it I think you could get used to.
But we might have been able to adjust that. We just couldn't use
Yeah.
the Lexus app.
Part of it, yeah. Mercedes, I
It
actually
likes to make noises at you, right?
Yeah, it'd be too many
Yeah.
noises.
Yeah.
Mercedes, they had, it's really nice because they had the hyperscreen. So I like their software and their interface, and there's a lot of settings, but it's a lot to take in. But it's also one of those where I like it. It's like coming, because like Android, I'm like, I could customize stuff. So it's like, I like that they have so many different options and settings. It takes a while to learn it, but then I'd be set,
Yeah.
Kat says Toyota likes their cars to ding at you. That's totally it. It's
Yep.
just like dinging all the time.
Bong,
At
bong.
The one that annoyed me with that was your like side collision alert. So if you're in a double left turn lane, you have your blinker on and you start to make your double left turn, it sees that there's a car there and it's like, hey, watch out. And it's like dinging at you. And I'm like, I know. We're in a double left
We're
turn lane.
stationary.
No, it's only when you're moving. And then the same
What's the-
thing
oh.
when if you come up to like a stop light or stop sign and you're getting ready to make a right turn and you're like, okay, here comes a car. After they go, I need to go. So you start to edge out a little bit. It's like, hey, there's a car coming. I'm like, I know. I wasn't going. To me, it reminds me of having like a mom or somebody in the back seat of like going,
Oh, that's stressful. Yeah. Eric fixed his blowing problem. Yay. Corey, by the way, the whole like being able to adjust the steering and throttle response, agreed, more adjustment ability, but that's also one of our requests is
I wanna-
somewhat the ability to make a custom
Custom
setting.
driving mode, because
Yeah.
that's on multiple EVs, and we have the 3 levels. But it's like I'd take for like around town, like I'd like the whisper suspension, but I wouldn't mind the unbridled acceleration. But the
These are all things I need to try out by driving.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
you
go.
do. Yeah.
Let's go. But we should wrap
That's her
up
lane.
because I'm starving.
Yes.
Yeah, we should wrap
Yeah,
up. And it is getting dark. I keep looking because I'm like, it feels dark here.
Yeah.
I can barely even see anyone. But
Well, the
getting
screens are
Camera's
lighting
doing
our
great.
faces here.
Oh,
but,
that's true. Yeah.
well, he's on dark mode over there.
He's on dark mode. I'm
Always
full
do that.
brightness. I don't know how he does that. Thank you guys so much for whisper steering with unbridled everything else. That would be amazing. Thank you so much for joining us for this live stream in which we talked about. We were going to talk about everything that happened this summer, and
All
we
right, don't
talked
keep
about
going. Just wrap it up.
everything. No, I can't wrap
Don't-
it up. You wrap it
Let's
up.
go.
Let's go. We're super hungry. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you liked us. Like this video. Follow Charge Positive on Instagram,
P-O-Z.
Twitter with a Z. Thank you, Eric. That's awesome to know. But we will say farewell. Let us know what you thought of this and all your thoughts and every answers to all the things. And just remember, we adore you guys so very much.
I thought you were saying no matter what you drive.
And just remember that whatever you drive, enjoy the ride.
And whatever it streams,
Whatever it
perfect
streams.
opportunity. To,
Well, and now you gotta
that's-
go and like shut it off.
Oh, wait, I gotta
So
go
it's
shut
like-
it off, so-
now we gotta like be
The
awkward,
awkward.
standing here like everybody.
Just pretend it's a Zoom meeting.
Oh wait, everyone freeze.
Oh, wait.
And bye. But yours is still
I know, I gotta
Now
go
look
turn mine
extra awkward.
I gotta hit the where. There it is.